Curry and Draymond Green also addressed the team yesterday at practice just to talk about the process of coming out of a 3-1 deficit, just how hard it is, but how much it takes. And the Warriors, they do feel confident that they can extend their season. They point to the fact that they had a double-digit lead midway through the third in Game 4, their first quarter and a half in Game 3, and then just the pure dominance they had in Game 2. They point to all of those things and say, look, if we execute our game plan, if we don't rush, especially our shots, and we keep our composure, there is no reason why we can't force a Game 6 and maybe keep it alive even after that.
Kendra, thank you so much. The place will be rocking tonight. Meanwhile, the Lakers, they enter the season 18-1 odds to win the title. Those odds were as long as 75-1 on Thanksgiving Day. They entered February 40-1 odds, tied with the Heat for the 13th best odds in the league. LA entered the playoffs with 14-1 odds, currently listed as the co-favorite now at Caesars Sportsbook. It's the first time being favored all season. Own win came in the Kerr era back in 2016. The Dubs were down 3-1 against Kevin Durant and Oklahoma City. That 73-win Warriors team lost in the NBA Finals to LeBron James, blowing a 3-1 series lead. And speaking of LeBron, he's a perfect 17-0 in his career when his teams hold a 3-1 series lead, the most wins without a loss in NBA history. Of those series, James' teams wrapped up those series 5 times, in 5 games, I should say 12 times, and none went to a Game 7. He's seeking his 12th trip to the conference finals, and the Lakers were as many as 8 games under 500 in November. Since conferences were created in 1970, there have been 3 teams that reached the conference finals after being 8+ games under 500 at any point in the regular season, according to Elias. They'd also be the first team to reach the conference finals after finishing last in their division. And joining us now from the Chase Center, Kendra Andrews, who's covering the Warriors, and Dave McMenamin, who is with the Lakers. Kendra, let's begin with the defending champs. All right, Steph, Clay, Draymond. They've been in this situation twice before. What are the Warriors drawing from past experience?
3 games to 1.
I've been on the wrong side of 3-1 before.
Back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James.
If we're going to get out of this hole, we all have to play better.
Somebody has to win 4 times. That's why you play it out.
Welcome to NBA Today, presented by PNC Bank.
Ooh, baby. This is where series get spicy. The Warriors, they are on the brink, but they are not alone. The MVP shocked the Celtics in Boston to take a 3-2 lead, headed back to Philadelphia. And then in the West, Nikola Jokic, he was dominant again. The Suns also facing elimination, but we're starting with a huge Game 5 in the Bay Area tonight. Welcome to NBA Today, presented by PNC Bank. We have Kendrick Perkins in the building. Ramona Shelburne is here with us. The one and only Richard Jefferson.
It's a big Wednesday.
It's a big Wednesday.
It's a big Wednesday.
It's a big Wednesday when you are here. Let's talk about this. Let's dive into this game because it's enormous. We can't really overstate this. We were so hyped for this series, and it could all come to an end tonight. But Richard, you've been on the flip side of this. You've been on a team that was down 3-1.
You know, LeBron remembers the first round where they were going to Game 5 to Memphis. They got blown out by 17 points, had to go back to win it in Game 6. Obviously, this Warriors team is not the same as the Grizzlies. They're experienced. There's future Hall of Famers on this roster. They have 4 rings to many of their names. LeBron James said, we can't be comfortable coming in here. It's just not possible against an opponent like that, and that is why he believes they will be ready. And you want to think about another motivating factor for the Lakers coming into Game 5. Yesterday, the NBA released its all-defensive first team and second team. No Anthony Davis on the first team, no Anthony Davis on the second team. And I've spoken to AD over and over again throughout these playoffs about his intensity and pride that he brings to the defensive end. I can guarantee you, he's a guy who knows the analytics. He knows that opponents are shooting X% when I'm the primary defender. They're shooting X% when I'm the secondary defender. With that level of attention to detail he brings to the defensive end, I believe he'll come out looking to make a statement about all the people in the NBA who forgot about him when it came to the best defenders.
Yeah, keep this in mind, too. The Lakers are currently 8-point underdogs heading into this Game 5, the chance to close things out and rest. Dave, thank you.
Over, the Lakers come storming back in Game 4.
You just try to win one game. That's what
Lakers are playing. They do have a chance. Like they 100%. You don't want to go into anything being like we have multiple opportunities to win one game. That is the complete opposite of the mindset that you want. Because even if you lose a game, let's say the Warriors win, it's a close one, you could still leave a game with confidence. You can leave a game feeling that you learned something, that you gained something, and prepare yourself for the next game. But don't ever go in there with thinking that we have bullets to waste. That is the absolute worst idea.
I agree. And when you think about the Lakers, there are two stars, LeBron James, 38 years old, year 20. AD is 30, right? But he has a body of a 50-year-old. And so you actually need rest. So if I'm looking at this series with Denver and the Suns, I'm hoping that it goes 7. The more days rest I get, the better for my two superstars. If I'm the Lakers, I'm approaching this as a must-win situation. Every day matters, in my opinion, when it comes down to AD.
Right.
They were down 3-1, had to go.
And came out, said, you know what? I probably rushed a few of those shots. I wish I had some of those back. Those were some shots that they should have taken. Clay was trying to do something big. It didn't work out. But if you listen to Draymond Green's podcast, which he comes out, it's like every day he comes out with a podcast.
Yeah.
He said, we lost this one. We played really well until the last 2 minutes, and then they made some very poor decisions.
Right.
So I've been in bad locker rooms where you look at the other team and you go, oh, man, I don't know how we're going to beat them. They're too good. That Warriors locker room felt like they beat themselves and they're going home for Game 5.
Well, they was lying. They was lying, and the truth wasn't nowhere near them. Because if they really wanted to mash the gas when they went up by double figures, they should have took advantage of that in the third quarter. Instead, the Lakers walked that down. Now, Momo, I would be optimistic about what you're saying if it was coming from any other person besides Clay and Draymond. Because I'm worried, right, about Jordan Poole, his relationship with Steve Kerr. I'm also worried about, is you going to use Jonathan Kuminga in this series?
No.
Probably
People got hurt. People were banged up. So it's really just about, like, get it done as quickly as possible. If it takes, 6, fine. If it takes, but get it done as quickly as possible.
Well, and that's what LeBron was saying. You can never be comfortable against this Golden State Warriors team. And one thing that I think back to is the famous speech that LeBron gave your team when he said, oh, they've lost it. Oh, this is when we can see a sliver of daylight. We can take advantage of this here. But the good news for the Lakers, right? Take a look at this. LeBron James, he's 31-0 in playoff series when he has a 2-game lead. Guess who the only player is with a better record? Oh, yeah. It's Kareem.
Look at Magic.
Well, that has been something this year, didn't he?
A lot of Lakers
There's
on that.
A lot of Laker greatness there.
A lot of Lakers
Ramona,
there.
we were
No
both
Celtics
across the street, though, for this Game 4. And at least to me, it didn't quite seem like the Warriors were done.
No, like I waited in that locker room a long time because I wanted to hear from Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Steph Curry. And those three lockers are right together.
One thing we do know is that Jordan Poole was huge for them last season. Matter of fact, they don't win a championship without his play. So you got to find a way. Is he bought in? Like, we really don't know. And although Steph, Klay, and Draymond are bought in and ready and probably ready for tonight, are the others ready for tonight?
Well, that matters.
Yeah.
It matters because everything about these Warriors, you can't go deep into series. You can't go 7 games. You can't go 6 games, 7 games in a series and not have a bench. It has to be all Steph Curry. Like in those finals that you guys won, Rich, like it felt like LeBron had to do superhuman things. In this series, it felt like Steph.
In 2016, and he said, we're